You may look at this and just see a vacant lot, but look past the dirt clods and the weeds and you'll see what city leaders in Wheeling see: possibilities. This is the former site of Penn Wheeling Closures, the last factory operation in a long line of different industries on this site dating back to the 1800s. The property was recently acquired by the city of Wheeling and is the first project to get help from a new DEP program, a low-interest loan from the West Virginia Brownfields Revolving Fund.
Anytime you look at financing a project, particularly a demolition project, having the availability of a very low-interest loan was helpful in making the decision to move forward with this project. So not only did we receive a low-interest loan, we also received a matching grant from the West Virginia DEP, and that certainly provided a catalyst for doing this project.
Abandoned former industrial sites like this are known as brownfields. Because of their prior use, there are often concerns about possible environmental contamination hindering redevelopment. This site is no exception.
There have been multiple investigations here already, some phase 1 and 2 site assessments. There's contamination in both the soil, surface soil and subsurface soil. There's also some groundwater contamination with VOCs, which could be an issue if a new building was constructed. There's a potential that they'll have to put some sort of vapor barrier. Nothing has reached the creek that has been found in any of the previous investigations, which is great.
It's been well known by the private owners that this site had environmental issues. And we knew that when we acquired it, on behalf of the city. So being able to remediate the site, clean it up, and prepare it for future development is really a key for not only this neighborhood, but for the city as a whole. We consider this property one of our gateways into the city. This neighborhood has seen a significant amount of private sector investment, and this property in its previous state was holding back some of that investment. As a result of the demolition of the structure, not only are we promoting additional development in what we consider to be a very hot neighborhood from an economic development standpoint, but also it improves the appearance of the city as people drive through, particularly on Route 2 on the freeway.
The new program has the potential to be a game changer for brownfield redevelopment in West Virginia by opening up a funding source that was previously unavailable.
The West Virginia Brownfields Revolving Fund was capitalized by an EPA Brownfields Revolving Loan Fund grant. The loan program's huge, so EPA Brownfields program offers grants to nonprofit organizations as well as states and local governments. But developers, private developers, are not allowed to apply for these grants. And so a lot of times they run into issues when they go to assess and remediate a site because they can't find funding for that. A lot of times they might not have the assets to back a loan, or banks are hesitant to issue a loan when it's not for a building or an asset and it's simply for site cleanup. And so when they can't get a loan through a bank, we're here to help them get a loan for redevelopment of a brownfield. And we finally were able to make our first loan here to the city of Wheeling for this site, and it's a really exciting day for us.
The DEP's voluntary remediation program helps property owners make a plan to clean up contaminated properties and provides some liability protection once the work is completed. Matt Gadd is the project manager for the Wheeling site.
Growing up in this area, as a teen, I watched a lot of the industries in this area just kind of die off. A lot of the old mills, manufacturing plants, industrial facilities around the valley closed down, set abandoned, became brownfields. That gives me great satisfaction being a VRP project manager, getting to work with rehabbing these brownfields, going in, cleaning them up, and helping local municipalities and applicants in general, could even be private sector applicants, just take a piece of property, remediate it, and put it back in working order. Hopefully bring some of the jobs back to this area that we lost over the last 20 years.
Now that the buildings are down and the debris removed from the site, additional testing is planned for the areas of the site that were previously inaccessible. Results from those tests will determine the path forward.
It will determine what limitations will be placed on the property. So there could be a restriction on groundwater use, for instance, or you may not be able to use it for a residential purpose. Each purpose that you would like a property to have has a set standard for each parameter that you would be testing for it, and they just have to meet those standards. Otherwise, you have to put a restriction. But overall, the city will be able to use this property for almost anything that they've that they've hoped for.
You can find out more about the DEP's Voluntary Remediation Program and the West Virginia Brownfields Revolving Fund by visiting our website, dep.wv.gov. You'll find it in the Explore Our Programs section under the Land tab. In Wheeling, I'm Mike Huff for Environment Matters. Thanks for watching.